What's up, y'all? Now, I gotta apologize for the length of this video. I don't like doing videos over 15 minutes, but this one, it just went too far over for me to be able to cut enough out of it to keep it shorter. So I apologize for that. I also apologize for taking a long time to get this one out. I know the debate was last night. It's just coming out now. I had some technical difficulties getting the video finished and getting it uploaded to the rabbit hole. But as I said, I'm going to simulcast the first few ones here, especially these debates. I want to get those on both channels, as some people on my main channel still like to view that type of stuff. So I hope no one gets too offended, even though people are very tense over politics these days. Probably just as much as it seems as the Vietnam War. I wasn't alive back then, but politics was a very hot topic back then, and it seems to even be a hotter topic now, at least for some people. So, without further ado, please enjoy the second round of the Democrat debates. I break down the last night's 10 candidates, plus I give you my overall winner for both. Thanks for watching. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the rabbit hole. We're covering this second round of the Democratic debates here, the next 10 candidates. Now, I've got to preface this by saying this debate contained a couple of guys who I had ranked, as Hall of Fame contenders for debates. Now, Bernie Sanders, he has the most points I've ever awarded in his first debate against Hillary back in 2016. We also have Joe Biden. Joe Biden, I awarded both Democrat debates back in 2008 over Hillary and Obama. So we really had a showdown here tonight. I really kind of wanted to see these guys go up against Elizabeth Warren on the same stage, Spartacus, Tulsi, but, we're saving that for later. They're going to bring the drama for later when they put them together. But it was supposed to be fireworks tonight. We got Bernie and Biden on the same stage. They were really supposed to dominate the scene, but it didn't go down that way. Not at all. Not at all. Now, if I were only scoring this thing on positive points, I've got Kamala Harris as the winner, because she just really took over the stage. However, you don't only get judged on your positives in my scorings for my debates. You also get scored on your negatives, and that's what hurts so many of these people, is because they say too much and stick their foots in their mouths. So, without further ado, let's get to the scoring here. Now, at number 10, and this is a big surprise, I never predicted that he would be the last place. But at number 10, Joe Biden. All right, Joe Biden, plus he had minus 26 points. All right, he ended up minus 18. Joe Biden, I just thought, said a lot of stupid things. I don't think he really spoke to his heart. I think he was trying too hard to pander to this group or the other, to not try to not say what people didn't think he wanted him to say. And hey, if anybody knows anything about the Trump campaign, they know that the reason it didn't work in 2012 is because they tried to control Donald Trump. In 2016, the motto was let Donald be Donald. And because Donald was Donald, then he was able to win. So if the Joe people want to get anything, they need to just let Joe be Joe. Don't let Joe go out there and try to, pander to who this, that, and the other. It didn't work. And he just tried too much on the talking points. And, they got into the climate crisis, climate change, climate chaos even heard tonight. We'll get into that later. Next, number 9, I got Smallwell, all right? Eric Swalwell, I would call him Smallwell, all right? Minus 12 points. He didn't say much of anything of substance. All he did was try to repeat talking points, and that's just terrible. That's not leadership. I can't believe he finished ahead of Biden. No, that just speaks of how lowly I thought of Biden's performance tonight, is that he got beat by Smallwell. Next, we've got Gillibrand. Hillary, she's not really Hillary Jr., Hillary the second. The real Hillary the second is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So she's mini Hillary, however. She took over Hillary's Senate seat. Mini Hillary, Gillibrand, minus 11 points. Didn't do much of anything besides to pander. She wants to go off, and we're going to talk about the women. We have to talk about the women. We're going to talk about the women. And you know, you can go back and forth about women's rights all you want to. Women have lots of rights in this country. If you don't think so, go to some place like Saudi Arabia. Go to some African countries where women can't really do much of all. Compared to the men, because they're run by tyranny, essentially, which is what we're run by, but we control our tyranny a little bit better. But I don't want to get off into a tangent in the rabbit hole here. We're going to stay focused. Next, we've got number 7, Kamala Harris. Now, as I said, Kamala said she had the most positive points in this one. She really took over the debate. She took it to Biden on the racism issue, took it to Biden on the busing issue, and that's real, you know what I'm saying? Plus, when everybody started chittering and chattering like a bunch of idiots, she shut everybody down and really made the rest of them look like a bunch of kids. However, she could not wait to try to stick her foot in her mouth and kept talking. She really should have just said what she felt fiery passionate about and then shut up the rest of the time. But because she couldn't shut up, then she ended up bringing herself down. I gave her negative 20 points, so she ended up with a minus 9. And, you know, if she could learn to get that under control, she'd be a viable candidate. I don't think she could beat Donald Trump. But, you know, Kamala Harris shows that she at least has the fight to be a president, all right? You know, even though she ended up coming here in 7th, all right? For 5th, I got tied for 5th, 2 people. Once again, the all-time guy, I expect him to really show up tonight, Bernie Sanders. And what did Bernie do? He comes up with a minus 7, right along with Buttigieg. Buttigieg and Bernie, both minus 7. Bernie, you know, a lot of the socialist stuff just, it doesn't add up. And he says, you know, you're just going to raise taxes on rich people. Well, guess what? The rich people will move out of your country. They're still going to be rich. And they're going to go to one of the several other countries that's not going to tax the hell out of them. And they're going to leave you sitting there high and dry and having to tax the middle class. You never want to address that question, Bernie. You never want to address the reality of what happens when you tax the rich people too much, Bernie, because that's the reality of what happens. If you don't put some sort of regulations on what the rich people can do with the money when they bring it back into the country, if they do bring it back into the country, then you're only going to end up with what you had before, Bernie. You really don't want to address the fact that you can't just try to steal rich people's money and expect them to just give it to you. All right, that's pretty stupid. If I tried to steal your money, Bernie, you would stop me. You would call cops. You would probably pull out the weapon that I know you have that you preach against, but you would probably pull it out and kill me if I just decide I'm gonna run up in your house and steal your money. So think about that, Bernie. That's why you lost so many points this time. You didn't do all that before. When you debated Hillary, you made a lot of sense, even though it was a lot of communist sense and it was based on stealing people's money. You at least said, you know, you're gonna try to work in it. But, you know, you got some points because Bernie at least stuck to the point that he addresses what the true problems are in America today. He just doesn't have a good way of addressing them. So he ends up with minus 7. Now, Buttigieg, all right? Buttigieg, once again, he says some things that make sense, but at the same time, he's got racist problems in his own city. The police department is only 6% black, and, you know, he's with the population somewhere around 30% or something like that. You know, that doesn't represent the demographics of your city to the slightest, Buttigieg. So, you say you try to do things and make things work, and you try to do stuff. You know what that usually means when they say, well, we tried this and we tried that? That means they gave a bunch of your tax dollars to some idiot to have a job that they did not complete. Because in the government, you don't have to do your job. You're not going to eventually lose out, even though the private industry is not full capitalist either. The government industry is definitely not. Government pays people to do nothing the majority of the time. Maybe about 20% of the time they actually produce something. The government pays people to do nothing most of the time. And then if they don't waste enough government money during the year, at the end of the year, they tell them to go out and waste the rest of their budget on purpose to make sure that their budget does not go down. So once again, I don't want to get off into some tangents, but you're throwing money at the problem is not addressing the problem. Obviously, the numbers show it. That's why you're under crisis, and that's why Buttigieg is probably not going to get the nomination. So next, we're going to go on to number 4, a guy who I was very unimpressed with, but he still ended up 4th, Yang. Yang, his whole idea essentially is that he's just going to print a bunch of money. Now, he wants to pay every adult pretty much a stipend to be an American citizen, but then he's also going to open up the borders, so he will pay any willing person on the planet $1,000 a month. I think that's where he was, $1,000 a month just to be in the country. We're going to give you $1,000 a month just to be in the country. We will attract 4 or 5 billion people in this country if Yang gets elected and he gets to enact that. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. Who the hell doesn't want $1,000 a month for free just to exist? But in the long run, that's going to do nothing to address income inequality because the poor people will just blow that 1,000 and the rich people will just collect it and save it. We'll be right back where we're at, except the value of the American dollar will be in the tank, thus making it available for China to take over as the dominant power, which is what Yang and the Chinese government wants. So at any rate, he got 4th place, however, so I guess the Chinese aren't doing so bad, you know? The Chinese are still smooth talking on selling us a bunch of broken crap. It doesn't work when you take it out of the package. We buy some more from them anyway because we're stupid. All right, next, 3rd place, Bennett. Now, this Bennett dude, he was one of them guys who was on a huge back and forth. He looks good, then he says a bunch of dumb crap and doubles down on it. Then he looks good again, and then he says a bunch more dumb crap and doubles down on it. I don't want to get into specifics because I'm running out of time here. Don't want to make a long video. But Bennett, he ends up 3rd with -5 points. Like a lot of people, he benefited from the fact that they didn't talk to him too much. He didn't have the opportunity to stick his foot in his mouth over and over and over again like Biden and Bernie. Now, number 2, Hickenlooper. Now, Colorado, as far as progressive and what my original definition of the term progressive was, is one of the examples of a progressive state. Progressive doesn't mean that you think that anything and everything should be legal. Progressive means that, or at least in the old definition that we used to use it for, progressive means that you believe in smarter energy, more efficient energy. You believe in more equal rights for people over things that make sense, but it's still going along with we're not going to just allow whoever to do whatever just because they belong to some certain political group. However, progressive now doesn't really mean that anymore, so that's why I don't call myself progressive like I used to, because they've changed the definition of it. However, Colorado's been a progressive state. They've done a whole lot of things. They legalized marijuana. They developed a strong economy based upon that. And that's why one of the reasons their economy is growing, because they've taken out some of the tyranny and some of the things that the government used to build itself to begin with. And we want to go back to the 1930s on that one by criminalizing normal activity. So Hickenlooper was good. At the same time, he's too much on the crazy stuff, too much on the climate crisis, climate chaos, climate calamity. I shouldn't have said climate calamity. I haven't heard that yet. And watch, somebody's going to steal climate calamity from me. Watch, it's coming soon, climate calamity. But anyway, that's going to be the thing that they want to ride the coattails of. So at the same time, he did a good job of riding the fence, which is what you got to do, in my opinion, to win these debates, because too many people are trying to pander to this, that group, and the other, and trying to just stay away from socialism is going to get you a few points right there. However, and the winner, for those of you who haven't figured out, was this lady Williamson, Marianne Williamson. I didn't know too much about her. She's an author. I honestly thought she was being treated way unfairly. However, when she started to talk and she started talking about the true causes of sickness and the true causes of the problems in America starts with the individual itself, she made a lot of sense, and so of course they tried to shut her down because she's making too much sense. They didn't call her to shut her down. She's making too much sense. But then given the opportunity, she wants to bash the president, blame the president for things that is not his fault, like all these other people want to do. The president did not make people pay drug cartels to smuggle them or their children over the border. That was not President Trump's decision to make. The decision was made by these other people. Now, even if you want to say there was the president's decision to enforce the law that the Congress enacted on the border, that's what he's doing. I mean, he tried to do a little bit better job than Obama because Obama was caging people and separating children, and none of these fools managed to tell the truth and say that this was going on way before Trump. It happened during Obama and before then, essentially as well. The truth is that none of them want to address the fact that they take advantage of illegal immigrants because they can pay them less than minimum wage because they're not on the books. So it's just a means for them to stay rich, just like they try to tell you they're trying to go after the other rich people. But, the millionaires are going after the billionaires. Hey, whose side would you take? If it really came down to it, are you really going to be on the side with the millionaires? The billionaires are going to win. They just got more money. People can fight back with no money if they want to. It all depends on the will and determination to fight. But that's the truth, is that they don't have it. And so it's not going to come through these soft politicians. It never does. So, however, that's how I got this second Democrat debate. We've got Williamson number 1, even points. Now, when you compare that to what we came up with yesterday, Tim Ryan still number 1 with +4. I got Tulsi Gabbard would be number 2 with +1. At third place, we'd have Williamson and Delaney tied at third. And in fifth, we'd have de Blasio, who I thought gained a lot of ground. I still don't think he stands a chance to win. But hey, he laid it out there. So that's what we got for these debates. We're going to have more debates coming up. Before that, we're going to have horse races, which you all know is much more exciting than political debates. But I try to break it down and keep it quick for you. So that's it for the Democrat debates. Thanks for viewing The Rabbit Hole. Please like, share, and subscribe, and you all have a great night.